Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Jake here, and welcome back to another Pokemon Go video. And in today's video, we're going to be showcasing the Demon Fox, and that is the Fire Fox named Ninetales. And we're going to be playing out some battles versus some very strong opponents. One being Matty F Baby. His channel link will be down below in the pinned comment for you guys to check out. He's a great content creator, as I've said in several videos at this point. And also one other opponent for today. So, if you guys are wondering about Ninetales, Ninetales is a fire type, obviously. And I actually prefer Ninetales over Charizard for this cup, guys. And the reasoning behind that is because I've done the testing, and I've seen it in several battles that Ninetales is just quite tankier. So some examples being like Charizard gets one shot by a water pulse, right guys? But no, Ninetales can actually tank one whole water pulse and still live with a good chunk of health left. And in this video today, you guys will see a scenario where Ninetales takes a super effective move and it doesn't actually one shot. And my other reason behind Ninetales is the fact that it has two very strong moves, being Side Shock and Flamethrower. Flamethrower having that great coverage against the grass types and the bug types, and Side Shock having somewhat of the same coverage, but being able to hit a lot of other types for strong one times a neutral damage. Unlike Charizard, where Charizard has Dragon Claw, but gets walled by a Azumarill. At least as an example, Ninetales has a way to fight back against things like Quagsire when it has a Side Shock, and other things like Mantine. That's where I would prefer having Ninetales in my team. So again, we're gonna be taking a look at a few battles today, showcasing Ninetales. Let's get right into it. So if you guys don't know, Ninetales has key matchups against all the grass types like Confusion Executor, like Execute, like the bug types, like Fortress here up against Matty. He opens Fortress where you open Quagsire. So this is actually a good matchup for Quagsire. And Matty's not going to shield, so that's really great for us. He's going to switch out into his own Quagsire here. And we're going to decide to stay in here and fire off this Earthquake. Now my reasoning behind that was because we could force that first shield out. And he actually hits us with an acid spray, so we're gonna fall for that. We thought it was going to be an earthquake, but no. Matty gets us with the mind game, but we're gonna hit him hard here with this earthquake. Now at this point, I know I don't need a shield because our Quagsire has done enough already. It leaves it to where my Ninetales can actually farm the rest of this Quagsire, but I don't block here. And the reasoning is because I felt like Matty was gonna hit me with an acid spray there. So I predicted that right. And here's where Ninetales does really well. So as you can see, it gets that Side Shock off already, which forces a shield out of his Raichu. And now we're not going to block this Thunder Punch. Although it's going to do a ton of damage, we force the last shield out from his Raichu, and we still have a shield remaining. So Ninetales is great at putting on shield pressure, but at this point in the game, we're already behind. So let's see if we can make a comeback here in Game 1. That Wild Charge isn't quite enough to finish off his Raichu. He hits us with his own Wild Charge, and we should have went for that Thunder Punch, guys. And yeah, he takes the win in that game. I should have just used my shield there. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought he would go for another Thunder Punch there, but yeah, well played, Matty. That wasn't really the best showcase of Ninetales, but yeah, we're gonna get right into some more battles. So as you can see, in this next game, we're going to be running Ninetales alongside, I believe, Quagsire? Yeah, we're going to be running Ninetales along Quagsire, guys. We open Quagsire. He opens Azumarill. So this isn't the most favorable matchup for us. It's a pretty even matchup, actually. But depending on shield usage, Azumarill can definitely win this matchup. So right here, we're going to go straight for the Earthquake, guys. We want to deal as much damage as we can, and we get it through, so he doesn't block. That's good. Best case scenario for us. So now we're going to go for the Stone Age to try to finish off the Azumarill here. And he doesn't shield, and luckily he gets off that ice beam with 1 HP left on that Azumarill. In here, I believe we come in with Raichu. Yes, we do. So we can farm one little turn of energy, and he brings in his own Quagsire. So we're gonna hit it with this Wild Charge here to do some okay damage. Wild Charge actually does a surprising amount against Quagsire, guys. He's gonna hit us with that Acid Spray once again, and we're gonna take the shield bait there. The Acid Spray really gets me, and then he's gonna hit us with the Stone Edge. So here is where Ninetales makes a huge comeback, guys. So we know his Quagsire is gonna farm up energy, but we actually predict the Acid Spray once again. So we've seen a pattern from Maddie thus far that he likes to go for the Acid Spray first. So that works in our favor, because now we know. We thought a Stone Edge was going to come there, but anyways, we charge up some extra energy here with Ninetales. We finish off Quagsire with the Side Shock, and you guys see how much energy we still have. And look at this last Pokemon, guys. It's a Fortress. Flamethrower is going to one-shot KO this Fortress, and we take the win there. So Ninetales, guys, is a great closer. As long as you save a shield for it, it can finish up pretty much any matchups. You know, that Side Shock damage is going to do a neutral to things like, you know, Quagsire, to things like Mantine. Some of Ninetales' worst matchups, and also the rock types, like if you're running an Almastar, Magcargo, those are some very hard counters to Ninetales. But at least you have that slight coverage against those Pokemon. So in this game, up against Maddie, we open Venusaur and he opens Quagsire. So this is an amazing scenario for us. He's going to switch out into his own Charizard. And this is where Ninetales comes into play. Ninetales is able to tie against Charizard in the 1 shield scenario and in the 0 shield scenario. But it loses in the 2 shields. So Maddie actually decides to not block that first charge move, which is good. We're going to block this Dragon Claw. And let's see if our Ninetales can come out on top. It can, so that's good. We are down a shield, but that's okay. Because we took out the main threat to the rest of our lineup here, which was Charizard. So that's one great thing about Ninetales, is it obviously can compete against the other fire types. And we actually decided to not block that Acid Spray. And then he switches into his Raichu, and we switch into our Quagsire. So this is a perfect scenario for us. We do have to get rid of his shield, though. So right here, we're going to go for the shield bait. We're not going to block anything because we know Quagsire can tank any of this. Any and all of Raichu's attacks. And we're going to go for the Earthquake shield bait. And we actually hit him with Stone Edge. So that's a great shield bait from us. We're going to go for the same thing one more time, because we know Stone Edge can at least KO. And it does. And he swaps his Quagsire back in. And we're just going to go straight for the ballsy Earthquake, guys. And let's see if Maddie decides to block. He does, so good on Maddie. But we're going to switch immediately into Venusaur after we break his last shield. And we're going to finish off that game with Venusaur. So that's the best thing to do in that scenario, guys. His Quagsire was going to go farm mine. So instead, I decided to swap out of there. Don't allow him to farm energy. When we knew our Venusaur had a Frenzy Plant available, so we just went straight for the KO there and finished off that game. Alright, guys, so in these next few games, we're going to try to wrap this video up soon for you guys, so it's short and sweet. You get all the details and matchups, and we're going to go up against our friend, kind of local to me, but anyways, we're going to open Ninetales, and he opens Venusaur. So Ninetales is a great opener, because it catches a lot of the grass types and any of the confusion users off guard. And it can also win against a Charizard. You just really have to try to bait the shields. But yeah, anyways, he lets his Quagsire go there. And we don't decide to shield that Earthquake, because my mentality in this meta, guys, is to don't allow them to farm. Even if you have a very positive matchup, you don't need a shield, guys. You can just farm them up, take the hits, and then potentially use one shield, but then farm the rest of the way. And then make it to where your opponent can't farm the energy off of your Pokemon. So in that scenario, I left Venusaur at very low HP, so I could um, end his life with getting a Frenzy Plant off, but I'm denying my opponent energy from that. So yeah, in this scenario right now, as I'm talking, it's Quagsire up against Ninetales, and he just has to block the Stone Edge. But yeah, in case you guys are wondering, oh, why I don't block in a positive scenario, is because, well, guys, I don't need to, because look at here, we have a 2 shield advantage up against 0, and Ninetales is going to absolutely annihilate Pokemon in this kind of scenario. So yeah, 2 main tips in this for this meta, guys. It's very much like Tempest, where there's a lot of matchups you can straight up farm. 2 of my biggest tips. One, if you're in a scenario where, you know, it's like Venusaur versus Quagsire, for example. You don't have to block anything from Quagsire, guys. Just let it hit you. But obviously make sure you can win the matchup in the end. You may want to use 1 shield to preserve the rest of your Venusaur's health. But basically, try to overfarm your opponent, like the Quagsire. Maybe use a Frenzy Plant if you must, if you need to win the matchup. But then have a Frenzy Plant or Sludge Bomb ready to go for the next Pokemon, and make it to where you are denying them health. So basically what that means is keep your Venusaur, for example, in the red so they can't farm much. That's my way of working around this meta, guys. So in this next game, we're going to open Quag, and he opens Fortress. Again, this is a pretty solid matchup for us. We are getting a little bit of lag here, but that's okay. We're going to fire off the Stone Edge to do some pretty good neutral damage to that Fortress. We're going to just let him hit us with that Earthquake, guys. And he actually takes us out there. So that wasn't the best play on us. We are lagging. As you can see, my Ninetales isn't firing off as much. But that's a farmable matchup right there, guys. And he's going to switch into Quagsire. So we're going to switch into Venusaur, give him the switch advantage, and he brings out his own Ninetales. So yeah, we are lagging quite a bit in this match, guys. I apologize about that. But we're going to try to feint his Ninetales with the Sludge Bomb. He's going to block. So we're now equal on shields. But he has the energy and the health on this Ninetales, so this isn't looking good for us. We're going to fire off this Psyshock to potentially burn his last shield, but he does not bite. Actually, you know what, guys? Let's... never mind. Yeah, we're just going to let this play through. I apologize, guys. There's a lot of lag on our ends. But yeah, he's going to take that game there. And let's get right into the next game. Alrighty, guys, jumping in this next game, we're going to be running probably one of my favorite lineups in this cup so far. That is Quagsire, Venusaur, and Ninetales. So here we open Venusaur and he opens Mantine. This is an unfavorable matchup for Venusaur, although we can definitely work our way out of it. He's going to block that first Frenzy Plant. So automatically we know our Ninetales has a good chance to clean up this match. So anyways, we're going to go with another Frenzy Plant. He decides to not block, so that's good. At this point, we're going to let our Venusaur... Actually, we're going to tank. We're going to shield that Aerial Ace. What am I thinking in this moment? I should have just let my Venusaur go there, but yeah, we get his last shield out of the way as well, which means, guys, Quagsire is going to come in here, and it's going to farm the rest of this Mantine. And watch how much I farm from this, guys. Because Mantine is double resisting Mudshot, we're going to almost farm a full Stone Edge and Earthquake. And with those shields, guys, Quagsire is going to destroy. So he brings out his own Quag. We're going to decide to go straight up for the Earthquake here. And then we're going to wait for a switch from him, and he switches into Venusaur. So smart play by him, but we were ready for it. We were actually expecting that. He probably knew we had this Ninetales in the back, but look at that, guys. We tanked that Sludge Bomb. If that was Charizard, that would be a KO right there. I'm just saying. And yeah, he's going to bring that Quagsire back in, and we get the Psyshock off, guys. And that is a GG there. That is one of the main reasons why I love running Ninetales. It can tank a Sludge Bomb. It can tank a Surf. It can tank an Aqua Tail. half the things Charizard can't take at all, Ninetales can, and that's why I prefer Ninetales. I know Blast Burn is so OP and Dragon Claw is good shield bait, but Ninetales, in my opinion, is just the safer option. If you want to play more on the defensive side. But you can definitely play Ninetales aggressively too if you'd like. In this next matchup, though, we're gonna switch out Fortress for it. And he opens Kingdra, so this is a great matchup for us. He's going to switch into his Ninetales, so we're going to switch it into our Quagsire. And as you guys know, this is a matchup I can just farm away. With shields, it's going to be done. As you can see, I'm overcharging a bunch there because I want to force him to either shield or I want to have extra energy on the next Pokemon coming in. We decide to block the Psyshock, so we can just farm away here, as you guys can see. We're finally going to fire off that next Stone Edge, and he's going to let his Ninetales go. But look at my energy, guys. I already almost have another Stone Edge ready to go, and he brings in his Azumarill. So we're going to decide to go Earthquake instead. And does he decide to block? He doesn't, so that's great for us. We're going to try to switch immediately out of there, but we decided to stay in there and fire off Stone Edge. We wanted to soak an Ice Beam onto Fortress in this scenario, but we were not. We decided now it's great. But there I made him make a huge mistake and block, thinking maybe it's Hydro Pump, but we soon realized that he's running an Ice Beam Play Rough set. So now we know we can just farm away on this Azumarill. We are going to pull the trigger though on Heavy Slam so we can get rid of it before it can do any more damage. And remember, his last Pokemon is Kingdra. And I make the noobiest mistake here, guys. I fire off Heavy Slam. I easily could have just went for Earthquake, but we're going to go for Ninetales, switch in, and watch this, guys. You won't believe this. We tank that Outrage, guys, and we can get off a Psyshock to finish off the Kingdra. That was purely for testing. I was going to stay in with the Fortress, but then I realized I went for the awful move. I wasn't even thinking in that moment that Kingdra's subtyping water resists steel moves. That was a huge new mistake by me, guys. I've had the worst type knowledge in this cup by far out of any other cups, guys. I'm just letting you know that now. So please forgive me for screwing up on my typings. This has just been a rough cup for my typing knowledge thus far. Alright, guys, so hopping into this last game, it's actually going to be a bonus game. I wasn't going to show this, but it's going to be a bonus game. I played incredibly well here with Quagsire and Ninetales duo, so let's see how we do. So here we go. We open Venusaur, and he opens Quagsire. So right off the bat, this is an amazing scenario for us. He lags a tiny bit, but he's going to switch out anyways to his known Ninetales, and this is where we switch into Quag. So just watch, guys. Watch how much Quag does here. He's going to fire off that first Psyshock, right? We're not going to block because you don't have to block. And right now, I just overfarmed. I overcharged Quagsire. He let his Ninetales go, so perfect. We get rid of that threat to Venusaur, and he brings in his own Quag, guys. And look at this. We're going to decide to go for the Earthquake. He doesn't know how much energy we have, and we one-shot the Quagsire the rest of the way. And his last Pokemon, guys, is Mantine. And you guys know, Stone Edge will knock out Mantine. So right now we can get to another Stone Edge. We're gonna block this because, you know, why not force his last shield out, right? Not only do we take out his first two Pokemon with Quagsire, not only do we kill the mirror, we take out both shields from that Mantine, and we get rid of our threat to Venusaur being Ninetales. All in one. Because we over-farmed Quagsire, he lost track of how much energy we had, and he didn't think my Quagsire could get to the Earthquake. Or he misread it and thought Earthquake wouldn't KO. But anyways, guys, I hope you learned some things about Ninetales from this video. I think those battles proved that Ninetales is a great Pokemon to use in this meta. It counters so many things, like, you know, it can beat Raichu in scenarios. It walls Venusaur. It walls Fortress, it walls Beedrill, it walls Venomoth, it walls Executor. You know, any of the grass, bug, steel types in this meta, it got that easily. And Psyshock is the lower energy move, but it's non-stab, so just keep that in mind. And remember, guys, if you want to run Ninetales, keep it in mind that its main counters are things like Almastar, things like Mantine, things like Quagsire, obviously. Anything that's rock, ground, water, watch out for those. Azumarill, Lantern, you know, Lapras with Water Gun, Vaporeon, even if you see that. Keep all those in mind. And yeah, I suggest you guys at least give it a try. It doesn't have to be a Legacy Flamethrower one like mine. You can run Psyshock and Solar Beam, or Psyshock and Overheat / Fire Blast, I think it has, if you'd like. But yeah, that wraps it up for the video today. I hope you found my commentary enjoyable, and I hope you learned something about Ninetales in this meta. He is amazing, guys. I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and love Ninetales as well. For all you Ninetales lovers out there, hype. And yeah, if you like this, please don't forget to drop a like, comment, and a subscribe. As I grind my way to 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I'm praying, guys. Let's do this. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.